today I'm at Cincinnati Public Radio in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I'm going to be talking with Dawn and Will, and they're going to be our tour guides for today. And this is their brand new facility for Cincinnati Public Radio. Now, Cincinnati Public Radio has recently built this brand new facility. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful. It is amazing. And we get to have a video tour of it. This project has been on the books since 2020, maybe 2019 is when they really started thinking about it. I had a very minuscule part of this project with a job I did through a company called ProCraft, who were the ones that did the integration and the technical side of this build. So it is really exciting to be able to see this facility in its finished form for the most part. I mean, obviously the stuff's never done, but it's going to be actually used, lived in. So I'm really excited to see it, and I hope you are too. So without me further adoing this, let's go inside and meet up with Dawn and Will and find out about this project.
I think I was brought in 22. Big deal was moving completely to AOIP. Our facility was a legacy facility, and we were just gradually getting into that, just little bit by little bit. AOIP, getting rid of all the KVMs, redundant audio networks, redundant everything. That's all exciting stuff. We've got redundant ISPs too, removing all of the little 22 gauge wires, running relays and opto inputs and doing everything over the network. That's all exciting stuff. So yeah, we've got a lot more studios now, and at least 4 more. And that's made it a lot easier, and everything's new and temperature controlled. There's not like that one studio that no one likes to use, and I have to tell them, oh, I'm taking down the studio, you have to move to Studio E, and everyone's like, I don't want to go there. Like, sorry. And then consistency, the same equipment in all the rooms. Everything's redundant. If the show in the adjacent room, if there's a problem in there, they can just run into here, and everything's set up almost exactly the same. The sound treatment is much better in this facility. They did all of this scatterbox design and over there too, and that's they tell me to add unique color to the sound of the rooms, because now we've made everything completely dead with all the sound treatment. Now it doesn't sound interesting, so you've got to add the scatterbox back in to make it sound a little different, just a little bit of color. Oh, and then our primary heating and cooling is through radiant floor heating and cooling. So you don't have the HVAC duct sounds. You don't have the one studio with the rattly air conditioning that happens every 20 minutes when the system cycles. I don't think there's any other facility with soundproof rooms where the floor is floating on rubber isolators, and then it has the radiant heating and cooling piped in over that gap.
But what were some of the challenges coming into it from a fresh perspective?
No, it was pretty easy for me, because I got my wish list. I finally got to say, okay, well, I want redundant internet connections. I want to have my STL. I did mostly the broadcast stuff and the air chain. So I got everything I wanted and a little bit more. And it was if there was an issue, it was making it too complicated to work on and thinking, well, I could add one more path. Maybe I can set up an STL over LiveWire. That's around where I stopped.
So why did you pick Dante?
Sound cards, very cheap. It works with our SAS consoles. I guess primarily for historical reasons at this point, but it's what I've got the most experience in and have had the least trouble with as far as AOIP. I've dealt with LiveWire a little bit, and I think that's got more of a learning curve than Dante does. And it integrates beautifully with our studio downstairs and our distributed audio system too. We're not limited to just broadcast applications. You don't get many chances to build a new radio facility, especially in 2025. That doesn't happen really We've got 3 cameras in there. We've got one in here in the control room, a lot like the Performance Studio, really a mini version of the Performance Studio. So we do have the ability to record and live stream from all of these cameras. So we've got our AKG 414 for WGUC, and we've got our Shure SM7DB, which is the new version with a built-in preamp. That's for WVXU for that NPR sound. These are terrific because we normally have a FET head in line with it, and those go out sometimes. This is all compact and in one unit. If people are cutting spots, for WGUC, you use this microphone, and for VXU, you'd use this microphone. Now let's see what's on the turntable. Fireworks, I'm pretty sure.
I've got some sticks in my office.
Oh, you know, that's the next thing I should DI in here is the Alexa, right? But yeah, Marcos, you didn't get a chance to see your old facility, did you?
No.
Okay, well, that was a bunker. Not literally, but
Felt like it.
yeah, there were very few windows in that building. I think Don and I had one of the only offices with windows.
Yeah.
There's like, maybe 5 or 6 offices in the whole building with windows. And yeah, all of our broadcast studios had no outward-facing windows. And you can't even tell what the weather is. You know, I'd be driving around listening to VXU, and Marianne says that it's snowing outside. And there's no snow on the road at all. And she can't check. She's just going off of whatever the weather radar tells her. It's actually 1 per room.
Okay.
It's not, we don't have one hanging behind every single TV. That'd be a little silly. We've got a pretty advanced video switcher set up by ProCraft so that we can route cameras or computer desktops or auxiliary HDMI inputs. This is just the default display. It's to have a clock on every wall.
So what we decided was, I was a little bit nervous about having 1 clock that fed the whole building, because if one of those gives out, the whole building's done. So we decided on a separate Parvel unit for each of the on-air studios, and then one for the rest of the building. So if we run into trouble, we have hot standbys. Basically, we can swap things around, or we can route
just go to
things
the video
around.
switcher and say, okay, well, you're grabbing the clock from
I would
GUC
not.
studio.
Yeah, a building this size, I would not recommend only having one. If one goes out in one of the studios, very quickly they could pull it up on the TV in the other studio and see it through the windows. This is a mirror version of the news studio, which is next door, but we do have a talk show that's every day, so that one gets used quite often, and this is a little bit less right now, but we are gearing up and finding more uses for it. That's one of the things that this studio and this building gives us the ability to do, is find new uses and expand our offerings. We're finding that, and we're slowly ramping up, which is nice to see the studios being utilized effectively and allowing us to do more things with more spaces that we couldn't do before.
So I see you guys went with Yellow Tech.
Yes, they're very proud of their equipment. It's nice. I mean, it's probably one of the better ones on the market. We knew in these studios we wanted a low mic boom so that we didn't have the clutter at eye level. We like to maintain eye contact when you're doing an interview with a group or with people. So we wanted the microphones to come up from the table, not come down from above. And so it's worked out really well in here. We kind of designed these tables so that the host is going to be facing the control room so they can have line of sight, get hand signals, other things, and at the same time have all the guests around the table so that they can have line of sight with any guest that's in the room.
Have you ever had an audio issue that just made you upset? But don't worry, because one of the sponsors for today's video has you covered. Angry Audio offers all sorts of gadgets and gizmos, from headphone disconnectors to prevent you from ripping the headphone jack right out of the console, to mic processors and software to make your streams sound amazing. I want to focus on something specific: the Angry Audio Rave. It's their powerful yet affordable audio console built for radio stations just like yours. The Rave has 8 stereo line inputs, up to 4 microphone inputs, 2 output mix buses, 2 mix minus outputs, a monitor feed for your control room, and so much more. The Rave is made of anodized aluminum, silky smooth faders, and tally outputs for your on-air light. Get major market quality at small market prices. Learn more at angryaudio.com. Thank you, Angry Audio, for sponsoring this video.
All I gotta do is push a button. That's so cool. And that gives us the ADA compliant stuff, but also gives us the ability for us taller people to be comfortable. And some of our staff that might be a little bit challenged on height can put it down to their level.
Yeah, no, it makes it a lot easier. I know at like the old studio, everything was kind of like down a little bit lower, so I had to kind of
A little sitting height.
As you know, we had the furniture guy design the cabinet for the limited equipment that we needed in there just to be attached to the bottom side. I believe with all 4 legs, this thing can lift 800 pounds. And I think it's only lifting right now about 150, somewhere in that area. So we got plenty of, I probably could ride it up and down, and along with 2 or 3 of my friends. What I was getting at earlier is that's why the 2 different Paravel head ends, one for that studio, one for this one, because you can see if this one dies, which also operates that clock right there, if this room dies on clockwise, they can look through in a pinch and get that one, and vice versa.
What you doing in my studio? Trying to get my job?
I just opened up the microphone and started talking.
Did you sing for him too?
I did.
Good.
He had you do the tornado sirens thing. So.
Oh, just
He
so
actually
the
stood there and
siren.
Well, we
But hey, Christian, you wanted to press a button?
Out. We know.
He was.
Before the
You want to
sirens.
clear a room? You can clear this one now, because it's been over 10 minutes.
I was just messing with it.
No, go ahead. Hit it anywhere.
I actually
Okay.
don't know how to
And
clear
then up
it.
there,
No, I'm just in.
clear.
Wow, that's considerate.
Isn't that great? That is great, because now, if you needed it right now, somebody must have left the mic open.
That's
I
that's
have
me.
no
I left
idea
the
who
host
left the mic on.
Can't imagine.
One of the neat things about ProCraft was when we described what we wanted for on-air lights. I was pretty specific. I says, I want something that just blinds you when you look at it. I want something that kind of glows and something, and I gave them nothing that I was finding. I searched for days. I couldn't find anything that I liked. They actually designed these and had them built. And I asked them after they showed them to us, and they were really proud of them. I asked him, I says, are you going to start making them available to anybody? And he goes, we might be thinking about doing that. So
Yeah, very, very cool.
the beauty of these doors, they told us, Walter Stork Design Group said that for 90% of the time, just closing one door is going to be good enough. If a lot of stuff's happening out here, let's say we're having a tour with kids, and they tend to be really loud when you get 15 or 20 of them together, then closing both of these will give us the same sound deadening as on-air studios. So that's why there's 2 of them. I'm guessing they weren't cheap, but they are kind of cool. And we have them in these 4 rooms, as well as downstairs in the performance studio for the voice booth down there. It's really designed for very quick.
Or the workhorses.
Yeah, if the morning or evening person wants to do a really quick weather update and they want to record it instead of doing it live, they can jump in here. A quick underwriting spot. Yeah. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can these go to air?
Yeah, we could, but
yeah,
you'd have to route them. I don't.
It's
think
a Dante route.
Yeah, I don't.
It'd take me about 20 seconds.
We don't have them routed permanently in the on-air studios, but Will could have them routed from home, from any place in the world.
I can jump on my phone and start working on it. I could do it from an airplane.
And that's obviously one of the benefits to any of the AOIP stuff is that it's just a route away from getting into the on-air studio.
Well, and I have the art studio. Well, both these interview studios are actually routed to the on-airs, and those are actually set to be the backup studios for the on-airs, the way I have it set up. Eventually, I'm going to set up, I think, Edit 3 to be the backup for VXU as well, and for GUC, I don't know, maybe also Edit 3.
Oh. And let me show you the really cool feature of this on-air light. So keep your...
Okay.
There
It's
you go.
already there.
So it lights up halfway when one station's on. That's one of the most important blinking lights in the building. It's giving us some code. I can't really tell you what it all means, or else I'd have to, kill you. But yeah, it's telling us everything that's happening in the building. Ooh, yeah. We're very proud of the way that ProCraft did all the routing of the cables. Yeah. They did a beautiful job.
Yeah, they...
Absolutely beautiful. What's really nice about this is that you've got all of your UPS plugs up top here. You've got 2 strips of outlets over here for each rack. So you got plenty of outlets for each rack, and it's going into a shared UPS that's in the other room. All of the television, the DirecTV receivers are here. The Crestron stuff is here. So we do have Telos nodes in here because we're really married to the Omnia processors. Mm-hmm. I really like the Omnia 9s. And to really utilize those to their fullest potential, you need to be able to have more inputs and outputs. So we do run a backbone to the transmitter site on that. We do have gates, Interplex system, which have actually been unbelievably wonderful. Whenever we lose the point-to-point STL, we don't even know it. It goes straight to the backup, which is through the public internet. And it seamlessly switches. You have no idea that it's switching. We couldn't believe it, so we actually pulled the point-to-point one day to test it, and you literally don't know it switched. In this room, we have clean agent for the TOC. So if there's a fire in there, we don't end up ruining all of the equipment. We have our standalone Liebert, well, actually this is a Vertiv. Oh no, it's a Liebert. Standalone Liebert AC unit for the TOC. As I mentioned earlier, we still have the radiant, the radiant cooling in there, but this adds a nice layer of redundancy so that we don't have to worry about that room getting overheated. And then we have our backup UPS here. Yeah, so it's a 50 kVA UPS for just the technical side of the building, which includes all the studios as well as the TOC and the performance studio as well. And then everything else is on a generator. It was cheaper to supply a generator power for the whole building than it was to section off the electrical and determine this room gets, generator, this room doesn't. So they said for the very small increment on the cost of the generator, it actually evens itself out in the long run as cost of the electric contractor costs. So, see the mechanical room? Yeah. You're showing this to a bunch of geeks.
That's true.
That's where I geek out, man. That mechanical room is awesome. Here's the interesting part. I got a couple things interesting in here. First of all, they 3D they 3D designed this room completely before we even started building this building, which meant every pipe in here was laid out, and they knew what pipes were going to interfere with other pipes. So that means when the plumber or the electrician comes in here, they had to maintain their pipes in a certain exact location, or else it was going to interfere with other pipes. So it was really interesting to find that how much work they did on laying this room out. Now, this skid right here, not installed, but the skid itself is worth about $250,000, I'm told. This is a magnetically levitated camshaft in here for the compressor for the HVAC system. They did that for vibration and noise as well as for size, because this room wasn't big enough to. The one equivalent to this is about, with the normal one is about twice this size. But so this is your compressor, your HVAC compressor. These are your hot water heaters, and they're redundant. So one of these can keep the building going for the most part. I mean, it might not be, in the middle of winter, it might not be a comfortable 75 degrees, but they can keep it operational. And the other one is just, like I say, a redundancy. So they share the load right now, but if one dies, the other one picks it up. Here's a couple. These are the same pumps that some of the transmitter manufacturers use on their equipment. But I've been in sites before where the plumber rushes to get in there first, so they don't have to worry about going around other people's stuff. And same thing with electricians. So that scatter box, we're starting to do these for people who donated to the station. So if you want your name up here, $1,000 minimum. If you want to do 10, that's fine. You can get your name up here. They made a mistake with me. I donated, and they didn't put my wife's name on there. Oh, no. Oh, no. And opening weekend, I heard about it. And I heard about it. And I heard about it. So I'm actually going to, as a joke, I'm going to put a label over top of that and see if my boss gets the hint.
Oh, maybe for Christmas, just like add your name to it. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. So is this just like, like 1,000, and that's like more the more.
It's like farther out.
You know what you have to do right now?
What?
You have to sign that board. What? This is the I was here board. You gotta give him your autograph. Do it. Do it. Come on. Yeah. Take a spot.
Those are trade secrets. So this sound wall right here is symbolic of the Cincinnati Public Radio. One of our announcers voiced it, and then the sign company turned it into wall art, I guess you can say.
That's really cool. Well, that's it for this video. This is part 1 of 2. The second part is going to be at their transmitter site, which is just down the street over there somewhere. So thank you for watching today. Thank you again to Dawn and Will and Brian for their tour guidance and, spending, gosh, what has it been, a couple hours talking about this project and kind of reminiscing. So thank you. And thank you for watching this video. And until next time, keep learning.